Story: The Great Emu War, Humans versus Birds, 1932. In 1932, in Australia, particularly in the Western Australia region, something very unusual and almost unbelievable happened, an event that would later be remembered as one of the strangest conflicts in human history. During that time, farmers in this region were facing a very serious agricultural crisis. Their wheat fields, which were their main source of food and income, were being destroyed every single day. The cause of this destruction was not drought, not insects, and not human enemies, but large, fast-running birds called emus. Emus are tall, powerful birds that cannot fly, but they can run at very high speed across open land. They often move in groups, and during that period, large numbers of them migrated into farming areas in search of food. As they moved through the fields, they trampled crops, ate what they could find, and left massive destruction behind them. The situation became worse day by day. Farmers tried different methods to protect their land, such as fences and noise-making techniques, but nothing worked. The emus were too many, too fast, and too unpredictable. The farmers began to lose hope, as their livelihoods were slowly being destroyed. Eventually, the problem became so serious that it reached the attention of the government. After discussions and pressure from farmers, the Australian government made a very unusual and controversial decision. Instead of using traditional wildlife control methods, they decided to send soldiers armed with machine guns to deal with the emus. This decision would later make history. The soldiers arrived in the affected areas with military equipment, ammunition, and vehicles. They expected a simple operation that would quickly reduce the number of birds and restore order to the farms. At first, they believed the mission would be easy and fast. However, what they encountered was completely different from what they had imagined. As soon as the operation began, the soldiers started shooting at the emus. But the birds reacted in a surprising way. Instead of running in straight lines, the emus moved in scattered groups, constantly changing direction. Their speed and unpredictable movement made it extremely difficult for the soldiers to aim accurately. Even when bullets were fired in large numbers, many shots missed their targets completely. The terrain also made the situation more difficult, as the emus used the open landscape to their advantage, spreading out and confusing the soldiers. The military quickly realized that this was not going to be a simple operation. Day after day, they continued their efforts, trying different strategies. They attempted to use vehicles to chase the birds, but the emus could outrun and outmaneuver them. They tried setting up better firing positions, but the birds kept moving in ways that made control impossible. As time passed, frustration began to grow among the soldiers. What was expected to be a quick solution had turned into a difficult and exhausting mission. The emus, on the other hand, continued behaving as if nothing could stop them. They kept moving through the farmland, surviving and adapting to every attempt made against them. After weeks of unsuccessful efforts, it became clear that the operation was not achieving its goal. The damage to crops continued, and the emu population was not significantly reduced. The government had to reconsider the entire mission. Eventually, the decision was made to stop the military operation completely, and so the conflict ended in one of the most surprising outcomes in history. Humans, with all their weapons and military training, had failed to defeat a group of birds. The emus survived, continued living in the wild, and the story became famous around the world as the Great Emu War. Today, this event is remembered not as a traditional war, but as a strange and humorous reminder that nature can sometimes be more powerful, more adaptive, and more unpredictable than human planning. It teaches an important lesson. No matter how advanced human tools and strategies may be, nature always has its own way of responding.